Hey there, I'm Scott and welcome back to my home and kitchen. I've had a few requests over the last month or so to ask me to do another really traditional southern Louisiana style meal for you guys. And today I thought would be the perfect day. I'm actually hosting a little dinner party tonight that I'm getting ready for. So I wanted to make something that would serve a lot of people with just minimal effort but really high flavor. And that's going to be jambalaya. I'm going to do it with ham, obviously, and shrimp, and it's going to be delicious. So let's head into the kitchen and get started. So let's get started with the jambalaya. And this recipe is actually the one that I prefer. Jambalaya in Louisiana is like gumbo and some of the other dishes. Every group or community sort of has their own recipe. This is the recipe that I grew up with. It's really the most traditional for the New Orleans area. And it's quite easy. Like I said, we're going to do one with shrimp and ham. Ham you're going to find in all jambalayas if it's truly a jambalaya, and then the other ingredients you can really add up to your discretion. But the word jambalaya actually comes from the French word jambon, which is French for ham. So you'll need 1 pound of ham. I've cut this into about 1/4 inch cubes. You're going to need 2 pounds of shrimp, and peel and devein that really well. You'll also need 1 cup of onion finely diced, and 1/2 cup of finely diced celery. You'll also need 1/2 cup of finely diced bell pepper. I'm using a red bell pepper in this. You could use green or yellow, whichever works for you. 2 to 3 cloves of finely chopped garlic, depending on your taste. You also need 1/2 cup of finely chopped green onions or scallions, and about 1/2 cup of coarsely chopped Italian parsley. Outside of that, you're going to need a large can of tomatoes, whole tomatoes with their juice. You'll also need 2 cups of water and 1.5 cups of dry rice, uncooked rice, 1.5 cups. For the seasoning, we're going to use salt and pepper to taste, about 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and we'll probably stick in a dash of Worcestershire sauce. At the end, when you serve this, you can serve the Tabasco sauce on the side. So let's get started putting this together. Alright, to get started, what I've done is put about 1/4 cup of butter into a large pot that has a tight fitting lid because we're going to cook the rice in that. And to that 1/4 cup of the butter, I've added about 1 tablespoon or 2 of vegetable oil or olive oil, just something to bring that heat point up. And the butter is melted and it's going nicely, so I'm going to add our onion and celery to this. It's going to go right in, as well as our bell pepper and our garlic. And what I'm going to do is sweat this out. We're going to saute it, adding no color to it, but trying to release all of that flavor. So this should take probably 5-7 minutes or so until everything is nicely sort of limp and wilted. The vegetables have gotten really nice and tender. Again, we have not added any color, which is exactly what we want. So they've given off most of their flavor to our fat, the butter and the oil that we've added in here. So to that I want to add our 1 pound of the ham. We're going to saute this. Let's saute it, say, for about 5 minutes or so, just to kind of get it nicely, slightly browned on the outside. Okay, so the ham got nicely, just slightly brown on its outside, and the ham is already cooked. When you buy that, you're obviously buying cooked ham. So you're just trying to heat it up a little bit so we can keep the cooking process going while we add the rest of our ingredients. And by the way, I'm working over a medium-high to a high heat. I just want to keep this going. I don't want it to sort of start to poach in its own liquid. I want to keep the, everything sort of moving around and keep everything evaporating. So to this, so far, I'm going to add our large can of the tomatoes, and our green onions are going to go right in there. Give all that a stir up, just to get it kind of incorporated throughout. And those whole tomatoes will break down. If you wanted to, you could add the sliced tomatoes to this. It's just fun. Or you could use fresh tomatoes if you have them in your garden. Just peel those off, squeeze out the juice and the seeds, and just use the plump tomatoes, but you'll need to add a little bit of liquid to sort of compensate for what you're not getting in the can. So to this, I want to add about 1.5 teaspoons of salt, about half a teaspoon or so of black pepper. And you guys, it's already smelling really good. I hope you'll try this because it's a good way, like I said, to feed a big crowd. This is going to feed probably 8 to 12 people depending on the portion size. And I've just added a quarter teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I want to give a couple of good glugs of the Worcestershire sauce, probably half a tablespoon. And that's looking real good. Okay, now we're going to add our uncooked rice, the 1.5 cups of that, as well as our 2 cups of the water. Give that a little stir around, and then our shrimp all goes in. So what we want to do is bring this up to a boil, so increase your heat as high as it would go. And as soon as it comes to a boil, we're going to add our parsley and then put the lid on it, reduce it to a simmer, and let it cook for 20 minutes. But when it boils, I'll come back and show you all that. Don't worry. The jambalaya mixture has just come to a boil, so our last ingredient that you'll have will be your coarsely chopped fresh parsley. And I only want to add probably about half of this because I want to reserve some of it just to sprinkle lightly over the dishes as they go out to the table. So that parsley you just want to gently incorporate. Right in there. And then on with the lid. Make sure it's fitting tightly. And reduce this down to the lowest simmer that you can achieve on your particular stove or cooker. And let it go for 20 to 25 minutes. Do not lift the lid, everything will be fine. But we need that rice to actually have a chance to steam and fluff up and absorb all that great liquid. So leave it untouched for at least 20 minutes. If you're dying to check it at 20 minutes. If your rice is cooked through and the shrimp are nicely pink and cooked through, yours is ready to serve. So I'll be back in about 20 minutes. The timer just went off and it was at 25 minutes exactly. So let's get this thing opened up. What you just want to check to make sure is that your rice is cooked all the way through, not crispy. And this is perfect, so it is ready to serve, and I'm going to have just a little taste of it. My little bowl here. A nice little slice of French bread is perfect. Now let's give this a taste. The tomatoes add a nice sweetness to it. There's a spiciness obviously from the cayenne and the Worcestershire sauce. The shrimp, you can totally get that flavor. It's really, really fantastic. So there you go, Louisiana jambalaya. I really hope you'll try it. I think you'll really, really like it. And as always, please feel free to email me at scottinoregon@comcast.net should you want to make a comment on this video or ask me to prepare a recipe for you. I'll be happy to. Alright guys, have a good day. Bye.